Wooyoung is my bias, and then Sun is my bias.
Gitu. For some reason, things just escalated at the Christmas tree.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Fan Club.
And if you're a fan, the Fan Club. Fandom ships, OTPs, NOTPs, fanfics. Today we're gonna be covering everything about shipping. I hope my mom doesn't watch this.
You're in the kpop world, I think it's a natural thing you will gravitate to.
Yeah, shipping.
Right? And it's not just a Korean thing. Shipping culture starts from like even in the Western.
Yeah, all fandoms. I think as long as you have a fandom, shipping is involved. Before we start, what is a ship?
So this is defined by Wikipedia. Shipping derives from the word relationship. Is the desire by followers of a fandom for two or more people. Ooh, two or more people.
Yeah.
Either real life people or fictional characters to be together. Shipping often takes the form of unofficial creative works, including fan fiction and fan art. Oh, the fan art.
I love me some good fan art. I honestly do. K-pop fandom, right? There's a lot of talented people.
It is a lot.
Sometimes even better than official merch.
It's true. Why is shipping culture a thing in K-pop? It's very different from how I think Western culture like ship. More like fictional world, like movies, but this one is like real people. Like why? Why does this happen?
I think for me, I have a ship when I find the interactions very cute. From like my favorite group.
Yeah.
Because in the group, right, there's always gonna be two besties or like
their chemistry is stronger.
The chemistry is stronger, or they like have like push and pull relationship.
It's true.
Oh, we love
like Key and Minho.
Oh yes.
They're like an old couple.
Oh, they fight.
And I think because like in the K-pop world, there's a lot of content produced. There's like variety shows, there's shows they produce themselves, like mini interviews here and there. You are spoiled with so much content that you can't help but notice like different members and their dynamic, or different teams and their dynamic. Last time there was like championships and whatnot, like those sports kind of things. So you're just like spoiled with choices, like you're spoiled with people to like look at.
Like, you know, we got married. It got discontinued, but last time we got married was such a huge thing. Every couple was like shipped like crazy.
I shipped Kuntoria, so I should.
You are a
ship.
Okay, Kuntoria was cute. Kuntoria was cute.
They were cute. The chemistry was there.
But then, like, you know, the crazy thing is that you think back all this. Now there's like, I don't think there's a show like that.
No.
Among idols, like, at least. I've always thought that last time I watched, if I was the PD, and then like let's say our companies are like, my idol is like dating this person. I don't know how to introduce them. Bring them on my show. Bring them on my show. We got married. Because confirm people will ship them.
It's true. Then all the backlash will go away.
Yeah, all the backlash will go. So, you know, companies out there, if you're looking to settle your dating scandal stuff,
put them on the show.
They are working and dating. Great for them.
So great.
Who was your first ship?
The ships are all ships in my mind. It's Yoonhae.
Yoonhae
and Jonghae. Yeah. I mean, they brought me into the K-pop world. It was looking at their dynamic that literally brought me into the K-pop world.
What's the dynamic like?
Jonghae is like the dad, and then it's like the mom.
Because
they are
mom
like
and dad couple.
Yeah, the mom and dad couple. Miho because like fight a lot.
Yeah,
theirs is like one is very calm and one is like you know? So then you watch that, you're like the chemistry is there. Like the bromance is like really strong. So I really like seeing that.
My first ship was Jonghyun and Key.
What was their dynamic like?
They have like very best friend like dynamic, but then they bicker a lot also. It's like they knew each other so well, that kind of type.
And it's nice to know that within a group, they have someone like that. So for me, as much as Yoonhae was my like first ship that I really liked, my second one was Taehoon.
Taehoon.
The betrayal is so strong. So for those who don't know, it's EXO's Tao and Sehun.
Why does this make me sad?
It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad now because back then they were like two rascals. So their dynamic is like they're both annoying.
And they were really annoying BFFs that time. They were everywhere together. They wore the same stuff.
And they're two of the youngest in the group. So
big.
Naturally they were very close together. And we don't talk about that.
Stuff happened in between, but it's okay. Actually, EXO, as many ships were formed, a lot of crumbled as well. But never mind.
Let's go.
We move on.
Okay.
But speaking about famous ships, right? We can't have this conversation we're talking about Yoonjae. This is TV excuse Yoonho and Jaejo. I didn't ship them, but then like being in like the whole K-pop fandom from like the beginning, right? You will be just fat Yoonjae stuff because like they are just so
like the OG.
Yeah, they were so OG. I think they were the original married couple. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think even until today, they are probably Yoonjae shippers still.
We wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, even though they're not in the same group anymore, but I think their interactions make a lot of people happy. Like I think their interactions.
But you looked up NOTPs. You looked up
did
something.
some research.
She did some
I
research.
did some research because I'm a bit detached from the current shipping since I went on AO3. The most reliable website to find all these things. AO3 is a site where people can publish and read fanfics. So the top pairings that people search most on AO3.
First one.
Number 1, Taekook.
Okay.
And Jungkook from
Okay.
BTS. Is that
I think
I
think Taekook, yeah.
Second one is Mark and Haechan from NCT.
I never knew they were like a pairing.
They are.
Because I always see Mark and Yuta. So I don't know.
Oh, actually, Mark and Yuta.
That's why I always see Mark and
But I
Yuta.
think because they're both in Dream.
Okay.
And
Understand.
also like there's a very famous, they like to call it Mark Hyuk Summer Fight. I think people just love it.
Okay.
There was one time they were at the airport and they were both like so angry at that. Fans speculated, hey, they're fighting, is it?
Did they ever come to like share?
And they talked about it actually. And then I think like even on stage, they have a bit of like tension there on stage, the way they were gesturing each other. Then Jeno was just at the back and that. But then they went on live and then they said, oh no lah, that time it wasn't like that. Like it was like misread and everything. But hey, we still like to think there was a fight. Third one, you can't leave the girlies out.
The girlies.
You can't leave the girlies out.
Yeah, I love it.
Remember the girlies. Sorin, Seulgi and Irene.
Okay.
I think this is actually quite popular.
It's cute. Yeah, cute.
I don't really know about Red Velvet Soul.
Let us know. Feed us with your ship
And
content.
the fourth one is Lisa. Jennie
okay,
and
nice.
Lisa. This one I didn't know because I thought the bigger one would be Lisa, which is Rose and Lisa.
I feel I understand because they are both like into a lot of similar things. I feel like since debut they were stronger, and then Lisa came out after Lisa. If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah, because not so many fourth gem groups. I personally like Woosan, which is Wooyoung and Sun from ATs.
Actually, I was reading about it. I think ATs has like a
really famous one. And then Stray Kids Changbin and Felix. That was very big. And then Hyunlix also came out after. But yeah, that's just too much. As long as you like two people, you put them together.
I have this theory though. I don't know if you think it's true. I think the people you ship, right, one of it has to be your bias.
Agree.
Like
because
your first one is your bias, the second one is probably your second bias.
Because you look at them first, and then you notice that this person is like so close, and then you start like gravitate, like liking the second. You know, it's a natural thing.
Tell us if you think this theory is true, because I talked about it to my friends and they were like, oh yeah. Like
Wooyoung is my bias, and then Sun is my bias.
Gitu. That's how you ship. Like we talk about shipping, right? You gotta talk about the things that people don't really
dive
talk
into
about.
it, and then you discover the world of fanfics.
So I discovered the world of fanfics when I was 13. Because that time Tumblr was like
was a thing.
All the updates you get on Tumblr.
And then all the screen captures, like the GIFs were all on Tumblr.
Yes. So like last time I was on Tumblr, then I think someone posted like links. Oh, you can read fanfics, and I thought it was stories. And then at the time I was a really big shower, and then I saw like, oh, that's like so cute. You can read stories, and then I read a lot. So like I said, wow, a story with Shiny. Let me go and like
eat that.
It was a fic with like all of them, and it was during like Christmas time. Something I'm like cute Christmas fic. Okay. Then I read. I remember one of the couples was like Taemin, which is Taemin and Minho. Then I was like, okay, this is so cute. They're having a little Christmas party. It's like they gathered at the house. They have jokes here and there. And then like they went to the Christmas tree. And then Taemin wanted to like get something there, and then Minho also like, hey. And then for some reason, things just escalated at the Christmas tree.
Sounds
jokes here.
What happened? Is it the drama scene where he's hanging something? And then the
I don't know. I don't really remember the story that well. I just remember it ended up with some things going on at the Christmas tree. But you know,
what was your reaction when you read that part? You're like,
I was like, no. Mind you, that time I have not read anything like that before.
It's true.
It was my first exposure to like
looking like a smart.
It was smart. I was like, damn, close that. Because I was 13 and I didn't know what's going on. I was like, this is nasty, close that. But it just felt like it was just like a different
It went
world.
from like a Christmas party.
Yeah, they were chilling, having a nice meal, joking. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But you know, that was on the end of it. Just
so I also stumbled on my first fanfic on Tumblr. But mine wasn't that early. I think it was like 2014 to 15. I read like a really long passage. It was also a story. And I really like reading. So I grew up, I'm like the book nerd. So I read a lot of books. So I was like, well, what is this like very long passage? Like obviously I clicked into it lah. I don't remember which couple it was. It was like romance. So I was like, okay, romance. And then, was like a bar scene, I remember.
At a bar.
And then escalated from there. Like secret, like they have the hype, and then like, you know, K-pop idols, you had, like they went into you know that kind, they go into the bar, like they stress, and then the girl is also there.
And then like, wait, and you're here?
Yeah, and it's like an OC
original character.
So it's like the idol hide in the bar, and then this girl.
So it was not another idol. It was like
it was a
OC.
So this girl came out with her own like
character
and her own fantasy. So at first it's quite PG, I feel. It's like how they met and then like how they secretly dated kind of thing. After I read like 2 chapters, I was like, wow, I never knew this kind of thing existed.
I think one thing about like fanfics, right, is either you have to wait 40 chapters for things to happen, or it's like the next paragraph and there were and
they're on the bed.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're on the bed.
Suddenly it's like, damn, that's
yeah.
I know you have a different like stance on fanfics, but definitely like fanfics in like fandoms in general, I think like the backbone for a lot of fandoms, like people just live off like fanfics. I think like a lot of people have like misconceptions of fanfics. A lot of times you think like, oh, this is just where you all read the nasty stuff, like, you know, like, I mean, of course there is like that kind of content, but on the other hand, you have like just stories of people who just crave more stories from their favorite pairing. I think in the K-pop context, right, like you want to see maybe like 2 of your favorite ships in like Harry Potter setting. You reimagine them in a Harry Potter.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
AU. They call it like AU, right? Alternate universe. A very popular one. A tattooist and a barista, or like a tattooist and a florist.
they are a tattooist and
a florist. Yeah, they just reimagine.
So they
them,
use the face of the person.
Yeah, they use the face and they use the personality of the person most of the time, but then they just put them in a character, put them in this alternate universe, build a world around them. So most of the times I won't say like it's nasty, because people always think if you read fanfic, you're like nasty and all, but they are the good sides.
I feel like some writers, you want inspiration for a person you already like. Let's say if I like this like character from this group, you like his personality, you like his humor, everything, and you happen to be a writer, you would replicate this person and just put it into like the story.
And I think it's such a good way for people to explore creatively. You didn't know 50 Shades was a Twilight fanfic, so
okay, that one I
like,
what in the world?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's
They're
crazy.
earning money. I mean, okay, sure, 50 Shades is like a crazy story, but you know, like it came out from a fanfic lah. Like it's just crazy where like a fanfic can bring you. I think a lot of like famous movies, a lot of them are based off fanfiction, and then they just
ran with it. They took the idea.
Yeah, they just took the idea. They ran with it. These people like really write well. You know, it's not like your Raja Enam Karangan. These are like people writing some Oxford level shit. You know?
Sure, with chapters.
Yeah, I remember like when I was reading when I was so young, I was like, damn, what do most of these words mean? Reading these fanfics a lot like helped me like become like.
I was reading this Reddit thread of like why people read fanfics, and then somebody said like fanfics was what taught me English. It's what improved my English. I was like, wow, like.
But of course, there are really bad ones also. Like, you know, if you go on like Wattpad or Asian fanfics. Yeah,
you have the big edges. You have the big edges.
The nice ones.
We don't lose.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to touch this or not, but like sometimes fanfiction have like really interesting tropes. Okay, enlighten me. Because you don't know, right? Okay. So there's like things like MPreg. You know what MPreg is?
What's MPreg?
Male pregnancy.
Oh wow!
It's a trope in fan fiction. Most
the
of
guy
the time,
gets pregnant.
The guy gets pregnant. In this universe, the guy can get pregnant.
Is it like alien universe or still like
no,
a human
it's human. It's human.
Wow.
It's just that in this universe, the guys can get pregnant. And I've read a few.
Okay.
It's quite interesting. Idol X is like with this another idol at the front of the pregnant.
And they become dads and their journey to become a dad.
Yeah. It's literally like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's even the Alpha Beta Omega universe.
Okay.
Where they are wolves.
Okay.
And then
that one I would feel like
Yeah, there's some alien stuff also.
Yeah.
But that one you can go and explore yourself. Who knows? It might tickle your fancy. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. And we were talking about like how companies should feed off these kind of things. And I think some people do.
They do. I believe it. Because I think even when we're talking about Yoonhae, they made a unit just for them.
It's true.
Surin, they have a unit together also.
So the fans get to see more of their dynamic together. But also I think like if let's say they have like group music band or whatever, right? To place them like next together. I see a lot of Wooyoung and Sun standing together. So I think companies also strategically feed the content like.
I do believe that they capitalize on certain ships. There's a demand for it, there's a fan for it. You put it together, it equals money.
Look at Running Man. Like let's not look at the K-pop. Like Gary and Jihyun were the thing. Like they were everywhere and people were making merch and people were like just craving to see episodes where they get paired up together.
And obviously the PDs would just put them together. Like, it's
smart.
really a smart move, I would say. Like, at the end of the day, this is just all for fun.
And it's not serious.
It's
but
really not.
sometimes then we dive into the bad part of like shipping culture and everything. It can get too much. So what is too much? I feel too much is when you
Genuinely believe
they should be together.
Yeah, that is
No,
You
that's a
gotta
no.
wake up.
Because I don't know. Sometimes I think about like the artists themselves. Would they feel uncomfortable? Because like the internet is forever, so everything that's written or like shared on social media and it would go viral, right? And they would read it. That's the thing.
They definitely
They
do.
definitely have seen it.
Yeah.
So like, would they feel objectified or would they feel like, oh, like there's this piece of story written about me that's sort of like out of my control? I think most sort of like see it as a good thing, like it's okay, like they have their fun, which is good. But I can't help but also think about like what happens behind their minds to know that this is out there. And like if they were to start dating, it's nasty if you start becoming angry, like, oh no, weren't you like with like, especially if it's like opposite gender, you know, like what if like you really believe, like let's say okay,
honestly,
like
this is
Victoria and Nikun lah, this OG, like let's say Nikun started dating someone. Even when last time like, Nikun started after the show, he got like second, third gen interactions, and then people will be like, eh,
you're ruining
your wife is
Victoria.
looking at you.
Your
Your wife is looking at you, kind of thing. Like, oh, your husband is like,
that is crazy.
it's so crazy. And then it's because of that kind of thing, right? So after we got married, they just like cut off. They cut off all like interactions.
They just don't want fans to fit into the delusion more. You know? It's honestly so dangerous because like there was this EXO fanfic 100880. It's like a Chanbik fanfic, so Chanyeol and Baekhyun. And then basically Dio was like the third party. Fans were literally like hating on Dio, you know, like what? Like literally because of a fanfic that because like he was the third party that ruined the story. They literally hated Dio for like a time, you know. It's a work of fiction. It's not even real, you know. Like bring that kind of hate to their real life boy group things, it doesn't make sense. But you know, when idols like when they really got together, like Jennie, Kai, Baekhyun, Taeyeon, like shippers like would bash on like Jennie at the time, like oh, you are ruining the ship. Girly, they're not real. It's not real. Like why do you think fans think that way?
I think it's to one point you feel like you have ownership over who they are. So you are taking what you see on screen and then really making it into part of you. And we know K-pop fans are so good at analyzing. They can like tell from like the shirt, everything,
or like a reflection on the spoon, like someone's there,
like a necklace or like a bracelet, and they're like, they're dating. But also it's because of how these kind of like shipping whatever and the over analyzing like skills. Now in the 4th gen, we don't really see a lot of like
no more
interaction
in between idols of
different sex.
I think that's one thing that I've really noticed. Last time they can just interact freely, but now they don't even dare to look at each other in the eye. Let's say ending stage, right?
Like during Music Bank,
whatever. Like the male and female idols, they don't even like the eye is like it's so awkward.
And it's like when you interview, you know, like they have the interviewer like that. Like,
sometimes like they're just like to the side. They're talking to them, but they don't even look at them.
I've seen one where I think was it 80s one where he just like stepped one step away, so it's not too close, so that people don't speculate.
It's so sad. I think times have changed a lot. Minho is very close to the SNSD girls, and then like last time 2PM.
It wasn't like a ew, like why are you so close? It
but
was
now,
like cute.
Let's say the idols even just make brief eye contact. They just slow-mo the video and they're like, wow, they're looking at each other. Like, guys, if you watch it in real time, right, it was just a glance.
If I'm not wrong, like Wonyoung got a lot of hate because of this. She was one of the MCs or like the host of one of the music shows, and at that time, ENHYPEN Sunghoon was also a host. So obviously they did a lot of like interviews together, and people just hated on her so much because she had like bare minimum interactions with Sunghoon. So I'm like, now obviously they'll become friends.
They work together
together every day. Not saying that they would be a couple, like the rare one would be IU and Lee Jung-soo. But it's not like it will happen, you know, they're just friends. But the fact that they scrutinize her mainly so much, and like I saw so many like evil edits on TikTok, which was like,
I mean, like, let's be real, a lot of times it's always the female idols who always get hated on. It's honestly quite sad. There's like such a big difference in the way people treat male idols and female idols. Even if they both interact, right, it's always the female idols who get most of it.
And they can only like sort of like disclose their friends after years and years. Like only recently, like Bam Bam's show with Jihyo, we realized that they were so close.
Like,
only when they reached that stage of like veteran level in the K-pop industry,
they don't care.
They're just like
Just imagine if they released this info like back when they were both at their peak. Oh, cannot. I think this is like another topic to talk about, like parasocial relationships and like and idols dating and all that. I mean, it's really like not that serious.
Shipping is supposed to be fun, guys.
It's not that serious.
It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to just all over, like you know. It's like you and your bestie lah, or like it's between two people and like wow, they look good together. Wow, they suit each other. Do they really suit each other? We never know.
Just don't fit into the delusion, and when you reach that point where you genuinely think, oh, they are together, and if anything happens to them, you feel affected.
Time to look at other people.
Because I've seen so many people leave the fandom because it got so serious.
So
Guys,
just have fun.
K-pop is about having fun.
Yeah, it's about having fun.
Remember why you got into K-pop in the first place. It's supposed to be fun. If people are feeding into like the negativity, block them. Don't engage.
But anyways, just let us know who are your favorite ships in the comments.
Go and kaypo a bit.
We go and kaypo a bit. We want to see what's the chemistry like. And we'll see you in fan meet.